There is a specific kind of pain that doesn't come from the person who ignores you. It comes from the person who finishes your sentences, reads your moods, completely understands you, and then uses that exact knowledge to take you apart. We carry around this deeply held assumption that understanding is the same as caring. We believe that if someone truly gets us, we are safe with them. For decades, our picture of a dangerous manipulator was simple. We imagined a cold, detached narcissist, someone who couldn't read a room if their life depended on it, using people like furniture. That picture told us that emotional radar and a conscience always come as a package deal. But that package is a lie, and believing it leaves us completely blind to a much sharper threat. In 2020, a team led by psychologist Naja Haim tested this exact assumption. They looked at close to 1,000 people, measuring dark personality traits right alongside empathy. Buried in the data, we found a group nobody had been looking for: people scoring incredibly high on dark traits and high on empathy at the exact same time. They named them dark empaths. This chart shows the population breakdown from that study. The pure, cold manipulator, the classic type we usually watch out for, made up about 13%. But the dark empath group dwarfed them, making up roughly 20%. The manipulator who can feel you is more common than the one who can't. They operate in plain sight, protected by our belief that they shouldn't even exist. To see how this works, we have to look at how the brain processes connection. Empathy is not a single switch. It's at least two separate neurological systems, and they do not have to fire together. The first system is cognitive empathy. This is accuracy. It's the ability to read you, to model what's happening in your head, and predict exactly how you'll react to a specific sentence. The second system is affective empathy. This is the part that physically aches when you ache. It's the biological resonance that makes someone flinch at your pain as if it were their own. It acts as the brain's natural braking system. When researchers look at grandiose narcissists and dark empaths, they see a clean fracture. The feeling part drops away entirely, leaving the reading part almost fully intact. They retain the ability to map your emotional vulnerabilities in fine detail, but remain completely untouched by the damage they inflict when they press on them. When you sit across from a person like this, they don't seem dangerous. They lean in. They remember the names of your childhood pets. They say the exact sentence you desperately needed to hear. They read you so quickly that your brain mistakes their accuracy for a deep history of earned trust. You start revealing things within weeks that you've never said out loud, wrapped up in this intense feeling of instant intimacy. But every time you share a specific insecurity or a painful memory, they aren't storing it as something precious to protect. They are filing it. They are gathering coordinates to know exactly where to push when they want something later. The terrifying part is that they aren't faking their ability to see you. They genuinely get you. Their accurate understanding is exactly what provides the map to your softest targets. Once they have that map, they use it differently than the classic dark types. A cold manipulator comes at you head-on, loud and obvious. A dark empath is far too aware of their social image for that. They rely on indirect aggression, the perfectly timed malicious joke in front of the group, the subtle social exclusion, tactics designed with built-in plausible deniability, so if you react, you look too sensitive. Their sharpest tool is guilt. Because they understand exactly how your mind works, they know precisely which thread of responsibility to pull. They know the exact phrasing required to turn your perfectly valid concern into your fault. Your nervous system ends up receiving two signals that should never exist together: closeness and severe danger. You are being deeply seen and deeply harmed by the exact same hand, leaving you paralyzed in the contradiction. This brings up the question that haunts people for years afterward. If they clearly understand my pain and they see me crying, why doesn't it make them stop? Because they lack the affective empathy that would act as a brake. Your tears are not a stop sign. Your visible suffering is purely informational feedback. It tells them the pressure is working and the map was accurate. And when you finally try to explain what's happening to someone else, you hit a wall. Dark empaths tend to be highly extroverted and universally adored. Their societal warmth acts as preemptive armor, isolating you completely. You start to wonder if you're the problem. But that crushing self-doubt isn't an accident. For someone with a talent for guilt, Making you police yourself instead of watching their behavior is the deliberate goal. Here's the reframe that stops the cycle. We treat being understood as proof of being loved, but understanding is a highly effective, completely neutral skill. It is not a moral virtue. A surgeon understands your body, and an interrogator understands your fears. Knowing you intimately provides absolutely zero proof of whether someone intends to care for that knowledge or exploit it. You have to stop asking, "Do they understand me?" and start asking a structural question. What do they choose to do with their understanding, again and again, over an extended pattern of time? Look for the literal cost of their empathy. Real, effective empathy is inconvenient. It forces people to sacrifice their own advantage or take the worst end of a deal simply because they cannot stand to watch you suffer. Your depth and your openness were never the flaw. You just have to retire one dangerous assumption. You can let yourself be deeply understood, but you must still wait to see what a person builds with that knowledge before you trust them with the rest of you.